Who are you? Really, who are you? If someone walked up to you today and asked, not what you do for a living, not where you're from, not what others have called you, but asked who you truly are, deep down, beneath all the layers, what would you say? It's a question most people never answer, not because it's too difficult, but because life has buried the truth under 1,000 voices. The voices of others, the voice of trauma, the voice of failure, the voice of fear. And eventually, you start living a life that reflects what you've heard instead of who you are. But here's the truth. Your identity does not begin with what you've done. It doesn't begin with your past, your achievements, or even your failures. It begins with who created you. The Bible tells us plainly, you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession. 1 Peter 2:9. Let that sink in. You are not an accident. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are chosen. You are royalty. You are sacred. But if that's true, why is it so hard to believe? Because from the moment you entered this world, a battle began. A silent war for your identity. And every wound, every rejection, every betrayal, it wasn't just random pain. It was targeted warfare, a strategic attack by the enemy to make you forget who you are and who you belong to. Because if the enemy can steal your identity, he can steal everything tied to it. Your purpose, your power, your peace, and worst of all, your voice. You begin to live small, think small, dream small. You accept labels that were never yours. Broken, unworthy, too far gone, not enough. But those labels are lies. And today, yes, right here, right now, you have a choice. You can keep carrying those labels, or you can lay them down and pick up the truth. The Bible says, the Spirit Himself testifies with our spirit that we are God's children. Romans 8:16. You're not just someone God tolerates. You are someone He chose. You are someone He delights in. You are not the sum of your worst moments. You are not the voice of your deepest insecurity. You are not the shadow of what happened to you. You are who God says you are. And do you know what He says? He says you were formed in the secret place. That you are fearfully and wonderfully made, that He knit you together with intentionality and purpose. He doesn't love you one day when you get it together. He loves you now, with the doubts, with the cracks, with the questions. You don't have to perform for His approval. You already have it. You don't have to earn His love. You already receive it. You don't have to hide your weakness. He's already made room for it in His grace. Because God doesn't just see where you've been. He sees where you're going. He sees the warrior inside you. He sees the potential. He sees the calling. And He's never stopped believing in what He placed inside you. But now, the question is, will you believe? Will you dare to say, I am more than what I see in the mirror. I am more than what they said about me. I am more than what I feel. I am a child of the Most High God. When that becomes your truth, everything shifts. Fear no longer owns you. Shame no longer defines you. You stop walking like a victim, and you start walking in victory. You stop living for approval, and you start living from approval. You pray like someone who knows they are heard. You live like someone who knows they are loved. You fight like someone who knows the battle is already won. This is what happens when you remember who you are, and even more, whose you are. Tomorrow morning, when the lies try to whisper again, when your past tries to echo louder than your purpose, stand up, look in the mirror, and declare, I am a child of God. I am chosen. I am loved. I am forgiven. I am called for greatness. Not because of who you are, but because of whose you are. The greatest victory is not out there in the world. It's not in trophies. It's not in money. It's not in recognition. The greatest victory you will ever experience is winning the war inside your own soul, the war for your identity. And guess what? That victory is already yours. Jesus claimed it on the cross. He paid for it in full. He sealed it with His Spirit. And now it's time to walk in it. So if this message stirred something in you, if it reminded you of who you are and who you're called to be, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe to this channel. Leave a like if this spoke to your heart. And share this with someone who needs to remember who they are. Because someone out there is still wearing labels that don't belong to them. Let's remind them of the truth. Let's take back our identity together.